guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. Well, I have to say, I am ashamed to show that this is my desk. I obviously recently did my whole room move and things, and I was so determined to keep it all organised and all tidy. But as you can see, it has now just taken on a whole life of its own. Yes, I'm now in a situation where I have to step into my seat to be able to actually sit down. So yes, it is time for another X-Piles series. So yes, I think we're going to have to kind of definitely try and clear the decks. So we're going to have another X-Piles series and see how we get on. Fingers crossed we're going to clear quite a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I hope you're going to join me, and I'm going to just quickly move around, put my camera up, and then we're going to just get working with some of these bits and pieces. So see you in a minute. Okay, so I've had a bit of a dig about to see kind of where we're going to start, or what, you know, what's actually what, because to be honest, it's all such a mess I couldn't actually see the wood for the trees. So what I've got here, I've got the pages that we used for the Halloween journal that we made. Yeah, I've got some leftover pages from that altered book, so I thought this would be a good place to start. You know, to actually kind of, yeah, use these as a kind of base. Now, I'm thinking let's do some sort of accordion book, because I'm hoping that that's going to be, you know, quite a big project that will get rid of quite a, you know, a number of things quite quickly, which is, of course, you know, what we need to do when things get into this kind of mess. So I'm just going to glue these together as my first, you know, my first thing. Obviously, I'm gluing them together because they obviously need a little bit of reinforcement, you know, otherwise they're just going to be one, you know, one layer of thickness. So yeah, they need kind of obviously a bit more durability than that. And of course, you know, that probably still wouldn't really be thick enough, but once we get kind of collaging on them and, you know, decorating them, that will kind of reinforce them further. So all I'm going to do is start by just gluing them together. And I think this is what we did when we did the Halloween journal, was we actually, you know, did start by kind of gluing the pages together. So it's not kind of too dissimilar as the process that we actually used there. So hold on a second, just get my glue unclogged nicely. So yeah, just going to kind of glue these together. Now, I could use my Sugar Bell bottle for this, but then I'm a bit worried that my pages are going to be saturated with glue and a bit sort of warped. So I'm trying to kind of stick and persevere with this, but we'll see how we get on. If it's, you know, proving kind of too painful to watch or to work with, then I will switch and we will use the Sugar Bell bottle for getting the glue out. So I'm sticking them together so as I've got text side up, if that makes sense. And again, it probably really doesn't even matter, because once we actually get kind of covering the page, you know, you're not really going to even be aware of what it was. But just kind of for the sake of, you know, yeah, the sake of kind of argument, I'm just putting them text side up. Now, I can't find my glue spreader, so I'm just using a clear block that happened to be just laying around on the desk. So let's move that one there. We will do page number 2. So just take page number 2. Oops. Come on. Okie dokie. So again, just, oh, come on. I might have to go to the Sugar Bell bottle because this is, yeah, going to be very irritating, I'm sure. Yeah, I just thought, well, this was quite a good way, because I looked back through my last X-Piles series and I thought, well, to be honest, what you want to do, I think, when you clear your desk, right, I'm going to have to go to the Sugar Bell bottle. So we're going to now have glue kind of oozing everywhere, I'm sure. What you want to do when you're doing a kind of use up, you know, what's on your desk is, and this is just kind of what I've found over the time, you want to do sort of projects that are going to use a lot of bits quickly. So in the past, on some of my, you know, 7 days working with what's on my desk and things like that, I've ended up in a situation where, to be honest, I haven't actually cleared my desk very successfully, very quickly. You know, doing things like, say, I don't know, making a cluster, or, you know, yeah, just making smaller type items. You need to kind of like get to a situation where you're going to make a biggish project. So by doing this, I'm going to hopefully be able to use a lot of paper covering this. I'm going to be able to use a lot of, you know, lace and things covering the paper that's covering this. And then obviously going to be able to use ephemera and make ephemera from other bits on the desk. So, I mean, I'm hoping that this is going to be a really quick and well, you know, good way of using stuff. Right, I stopped the video, I turned the light on, I found a little tiny bit of, you know, glue spreader left that I've obviously cut in half to use for gesso. So, you know, we're kind of making progress, and I've tried to unclog my glue, although I have to be honest, I don't think it really has worked. Right, so far I have glued 2 pages together. So let's glue another page together so that we've got a few done. So, oops. Okay. I know I've said this so many times, but honestly, this is a temperature thing, you know. So yeah, please excuse my glue. Right, it's now oozing out. So gone from one extreme to the other. So I had no glue, and now it's like pouring out. So oops, and now it's back to no glue. So yeah, it's not the best day, to be honest. Right, okay. I thought we were past these times, but never mind. Right, so just going to spread this with my finger, super messy, so I do apologise, because I know that some people don't really like this type of thing, but needs must, and we've just got to do what's, you know, what's doable and what's kind of quick and easy, don't we? So right, so just getting the glue spread across there, okay, and then just place my page down. Okay, let's just spread the glue. Okay, right, so I've got 3 pages. Now, I have to say, I have got another page sat there. Oops. Didn't do a very good job of getting this very straight, so let me just peel that off again. Put it down again. Right, let's try and marry it up a little bit better. Okay, right. Take 2. Right, okay, so that's another page now. Now, I've got another page here. I mean, I have got some other page left of this book, but I actually am not too sure now where it is. It's probably buried somewhere under the desk, but yeah, I couldn't spot it just now. So rather than kind of just waste a whole ton of time, I thought, let's just get on with this. Now, I've got this page, which is just left here from another project. As you can see, I mean, it's this kind of stripy green and white. Again, it's probably not really something that I'm likely to use now. So I'm just going to take this and place this down this way onto here. And then I'll cut around it. So, you know, it just kind of saves me hunting around for those other pages. So I'm not saying it's, you know, it's quite ideal, but it's fine. It will do. Right. Oh. So sorry about this. Okay, so again, just get loads of glue out. I mean, it seems to work for a little bit every time I put the pin in, so perhaps we'll just kind of have to do it like that and just, you know, put the pin in, squirt some glue, put the pin in, squirt some glue, kind of yeah, do it like that maybe. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where we're going to go with this project, because like always, when you do this whole working with what's on your desk, I mean, obviously, you know, I've got things from all different projects that are definitely not going to go and complement each other well. You know, so it's a bit of a kind of trial and error and a bit of a sort of mystery as to how this project's going to turn out. I mean, it could turn out fine and really, you know, really pretty, really nice. Who knows? It could turn out absolutely hideous. I mean, hopefully we're going to have somewhere in the middle of those two. Well, I mean, hopefully veering towards the absolutely lovely. You know, obviously I don't want to kind of have something hideous, but, you know, like I say, when it's kind of working with what's on your desk, things are not necessarily going to be, you know, complementary to each other. Oh gosh, probably heard all that stuff just drop down. Right, again, just going to have to just use my finger to just spread this glue around. So, okay. Right, so let's just pop this down onto here. Now, as you can see, this is not a texty page. It's, you know, it's, you know, got pictures on it. But to be honest, they're palish. So hopefully they're not going to kind of be too intrusive or show through if we, you know, if we cover it with some sort of collage page. Hopefully it's not going to be too bright or anything like that. So then I'm going to obviously cut around this so it's then, you know, the same size as the other pieces. So let me just get my scissors. Oh, they now have disappeared as well. I mean, would you believe it? Hold on. Right, found my scissors. And in the meantime, I did actually find the rest of that book while I was hunting for my scissors. So should we need any more pages? I've obviously got my book here. So let's crack on. Let's cut this down. Oh my goodness. Honestly, my desk is just awful. So this is a long time coming, and quite frankly, you know, not before time, is it, that I'm doing this. So yeah, definitely it was something that I've been needing to do for a while. So yeah, we're going to have these now. Just kind of having a look now. I'm going to bin that. I know it's very wasteful, but as you can see, I'm not really in a situation where I need to worry too much about kind of saving every single scrap. I really am actually, in fact, you know, the opposite, where I need to get rid of some stuff. So, right, let's have a look. I've got here some various bits of paper. So let's just pull in some of these bits and bobs. So all I want to probably do in the first instance is actually just cover all my pages so that, you know, I've covered up the texty parts. So again, obviously I'm, you know, mindful of working with the bits on my desk, and I'm just going to be pulling in bits and pieces, you know, that are on the desk. So this unfortunately actually is yeah, earmarked for a finishing off of a project. So I'm going to pull that straight off the desk. So that's one less thing hanging around, which is good. Okay, right. I've got some of my Edwardian supper. Now I don't really feel like these particularly go, it's got to be said. But, you know, because I'm now, you know, just trying to whittle things down, I might just have to kind of go with it and use some things that I wouldn't ordinarily be putting together. Because, you know, otherwise I could be here a long time trying to actually get rid of stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to try my best to not be too, you know, too fussed about how things look. I'm going to just kind of put them down and hope for the best. Yeah. We shall see, because obviously this is not really kind of my bag, you know, mixing it up is not really my thing. I'm normally obviously, you know, very matchy. If you watch my channel, you'll know, I mean, I do struggle to even mix up the slightest thing. So being this eclectic and this mishy mashy is going to be a struggle for me, to say the least. So yeah, we shall see how I get on, but you know, if nothing else, this is going to be a lot of fun, hopefully. I mean, I'd like to turn out with something that I actually like at the end, because otherwise it all feels a bit pointless, doesn't it, if you don't actually like what you've made, but we shall see. So let's just take that and pop that down. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's just now snip this off at this edge. Now what I do find is, you know, whenever I'm trying to mix up anything, is to try and incorporate bits of those things throughout. So even if, you know, typically it doesn't necessarily go with another thing, if you try and have that same kind of pattern somewhere else in the journal, I always find that that does kind of help with the whole mixing it in, because although it, you know, it might not typically go in your mind's eye with, you know, how you'd kind of ordinarily expect it to go, at least you've got like consistency of it being in multiple places rather than just in one spot, if that makes sense. So for instance here, I'm going to just put some more of this Edwardian supper paper. So this is Edwardian supper papers that are in my Etsy shop. I'm just going to put these so that they're dotted around in the journal. So there is some sort of cohesive kind of consistency. Even if ordinarily I wouldn't put the colours together, they're going to at least be similar throughout the whole journal, if that makes sense. So, you know, I kind of feel like that then gets around a bit the fact it doesn't necessarily match how, you know, in my mind's eye, I feel like it should. At least if it's more than once, you know, rather than just like, oh, where's that? That's just come out of nowhere. It feels then a bit like, you know, it's got more place being there, if that makes sense. So again, just kind of having to spread this with my finger. So I do really apologise for this. Right, let's just pop that down there. So, and I've got my glue spreader now, which I found also while looking for the scissors. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is way overdue, to be honest, because, you know, you can probably hear as I'm moving things around at the moment lately, you know, things are just toppling all over the desk. So, you know, this is kind of like, yeah, just long overdue and, you know, hopefully going to be a bit of a lifesaver, to be honest, because I will actually be able to, you know, move things around freely on my desk without things just dropping off every time I touch anything, which is what's going on right now. So just seeing if I've got any more of that Edwardian supper paper here. No, and of course I can't see any of that. Oh, now I've got this, which of course, I mean, this is not going to go with that at all, is it? Not really. Okay, right. So I might actually get these off of the desk altogether, to be honest, because yeah, not going to be using those in this particular thing at all. So yeah, let's get rid of those off the desk. Right. I have got you know, lots of other kinds of bits like these, which are from my kit from your Build Your Own Folio series that we've done. So we can mix these in. I mean, all we're really trying to do is just get some background pages or paper put down onto the pages to cover them up. So, you know, we're not kind of focusing too much on, you know, how well things are going. We just kind of, yeah, just getting some background stuff or background prettiness onto our pages instead of the text, or in this case, obviously the pictures of the cakes. So not that they're not lovely, obviously. Obviously cakes are lovely, but we don't necessarily want them on the junk journal. So let's just take that and pop that down there. Okay. Right, so that's that one. And then let's put a bit of this down on this one. And again, just going to kind of like slot this into here, which then, you know, we can fill in the other bits, but then we've got a similar look on two of the pages, if that makes sense. So, you know, even if these turn out to be the only two pages that look like this, there are now two of them instead of just one random, you know, ooh, where's that come from? And, you know, that's not a rule, obviously. There's no rules in junk journals, but, you know, I sometimes just think to have just one of something looks like it's just, you know, appeared kind of randomly, where to have two, it's kind of like a bit more deliberate. That being said, I do always remember seeing, it was a junk journal of Laurie, Girl on a Ridge, and she had this amazing junk journal with, I think it was probably pinks and things all the way through. I can't really remember, you know, the other pages, but just suddenly, randomly, she had this very, very, very blue-based page. And it, just completely contrasted with everything else that was on the page. It looked phenomenal, I have to say. You know, it's a really long time ago that I saw it. I think I've got it saved in my favourites, you know, on my favourites, you know, playlist. but yeah, it sticks in my mind all this time later because it just looked so amazing. So, you know, that's not a hard and fast rule to say, you know, never have kind of the odd page, you know, that doesn't kind of generally fit with your theme. Because like I say, I mean, that was just honestly a one-off random blue page, but it looked amazing. You know, so like I say, there's no rules at all. But I don't feel like I can carry that kind of thing off. So, you know, if you're a bit like me and you just kind of think, I'm not sure how that's going to look, then I kind of think a general way to get away with things is have more than one. So, you know, have kind of 2 pages like that, or I don't know, two bits of ephemera like that or whatever. And then I just feel like that actually kind of gets around the problem and it doesn't sort of look so random and strange. So like I say, that's not a rule or anything. That's just kind of, you know, my personal kind of, not take on it, but, you know, my personal preference. So, you know, but you must do obviously what, you know, what suits you and, you know, what you kind of find has worked for you in the past. So I've got that there. Now I've just got another little random bit of that texty page as well. So I'm just going to try and have that, I think, here. And obviously I'm going to be, you know, trimming this down. So it's going to be here, but I'm going to trim it down. So just kind of see how it looks. Okay. Like that. Oops. Okay, right. I'm so sorry about this whole cloggy glue thing. It's very, very annoying. And to be honest, you know, ridiculous that I'm actually using a sugar bell bottle and still having glue problems because, you know, normally it's kind of the opposite, isn't it? With a sugar bell bottle, you can't stop the glue from oozing out. And actually, once I unclog it, the glue does come flowing out. But yeah, it's still not kind of getting around the whole glue problems that I'm having. So I'm going to just literally carry on covering these pages off camera because I'm sure that this is frustrating you as much as it is me. And then I'll come back and we'll just kind of review what we've done so far. Right, here we are. So we are the next day now. And what I've got, obviously, is my 4, you know, what are going to be my kind of pages or my leaves in my... It's going to be an accordion kind of journal. So, yeah, we're going to kind of just attach it like this. So I'm just kind of checking which way round I want it all to be. I mean, I don't think it really matters, to be honest, but... you know, just in case it does, just going to kind of lay it out like that, I think. So yeah, yep, like that. So I'm going to now glue these bits together. So just literally with some fabric acting as a bit of a hinge. So pop that like, oops, like that. Right, now I've bought in some fabric that I've had for years. This was some old dress of my daughter's. This is all I've got left of it, I think. I've had it for years and yeah, I seem to have said for years, oh, I've not really got any left. I wasn't lying, but just I didn't kind of have a lot left, if you see what I mean. But anyway, it's come to the end now. So just going to tear that down there. Right. I'm not saying I'm necessarily going to even have enough to do the whole of this, but we'll see. So if I just take this down, probably about that sort of thickness. So we'll get a few of those going. And like I say, we might have to, you know, fill in with other fabrics, but we'll just try this at first. So, okay. Okie dokie. Right. Okay, and then this one, yeah, I might even be able to get two lengths out of this. But anyway, we will just see how it goes. I'm not going to kind of stress too much, you know. If I have to use different fabric, then it doesn't really matter. Because, you know, we're making a very eclectic piece here. You know, like we said before, we're just using up kind of what's on the desk. So the chances are it's not really going to be kind of coordinated bits anyway. So we're just, yeah, we're just using what we've got here on the desk. So we're just going to glue this fabric down. Let me try and get that a little bit straight. Okay, get my wipe. Just glue that down there. Okay, looking good. Now I think I've got enough that I can turn this over and then wrap that straight around to do the other side. So get that flat. Okay, so I can glue it straight down on the other side as well, which is good. Okay, like that, and then I can just trim off at the top. So that's our first piece glued together. Now, obviously I haven't really gone near the edge of that fabric, but that's fine because we can always fill that in later. Not fill it in, you know, run glue along there later. But I've left it at the moment for just in case if I want to have, you know, anything kind of tucked under those or under that fabric, then I can obviously, you know, tuck it under there. Oh, why is this so big? Well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Must have, yeah, somehow made this page a little bit bigger. So let me just trim this down. I mean, it's okay if they're not quite 100%, but yeah, I don't want it quite so different in terms of size. I don't know how I went wrong and got that so weirdly mismatched size-wise anyway, but anyway. Right, there we go, that's better. So that can go on there. Again, just going to glue down my fabric strips. So let me use the long one again, which hopefully then I can just, you know, like we did with the other one, just wrap it straight around to the back as well. So straight down there. Okay. I'm just using Fabri-Tac for gluing the fabric down. Okay. Like that. Again, squish that down. So there's quite a bit of glue on there, but I want it obviously, you know, stuck down properly. So I don't want to kind of be in a situation where it's not quite attached. Oh, sorry, I've now dropped my scissors. I mean, hopefully by the end of this series, I'm going to have less things like that going on, you know, dropping of things off the desk, because my desk's going to be less messy. So hopefully we're going to have an improved situation by the end, where things are not constantly dropping on the floor. Who knows? Who knows? But that's the plan, or that's the hope anyway. So yeah, let's just glue that down like that. Okay. Well, I have to say I'm loving the look of this so far. So as you can see, I mean, I filled in some of these pages with just book page, you know, so I've got kind of a variety of different, you know, looks going on. Sorry, let me just grab my scissors now where I dropped them, because I need to obviously now trim that page up as well. Like I say, I'm not sure how I've gone quite so wrong. Got these quite so out of alignment size wise, but anyway, it doesn't matter, we just trim them up. And that one. Okay. Right. Let's just get rid of this. So I don't know whether I'm going to have enough of that fabric left. We'll see in a second. Should have really counted it up, to be honest, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, let's take this one and glue this one down on here. I might just take this down slightly because this looks like it's a little bit on the wide side. Okay. It was just fractionally too wide. I mean, you know, obviously I haven't measured or anything like that, but it just looked like it was a little bit too wide, kind of, you know, by eye. It's a little bit on the wide side. Right, so we glue that one down. Again, just get my wipe and squish that down. Okay. Yeah, I'm really liking the look of this already, to be honest. It's yeah, it looks very pretty. Very pretty. Right, now turn this over and we will just see. Right, okay, that's okay then. So I can just then do this one on the other side. So just going to cut that down in a second, but I'm just going to put it on, yeah, like that, I think. So I'm just going to cut it here just to make it a bit narrower, because again it was just a little bit too wide. So we just glue that down there. Okay. And then we can obviously trim these bits off. So yeah, just pop that on down. Okay, looking good. Right. Okay. So that's it. I did have enough fabric after all that. I was a bit concerned that there wouldn't be enough, but yeah, I did have enough. So that's all good. Right. Just going to trim off the excess, and then I will take this to the sewing machine and actually stitch along these bits so that they're kind of reinforced and not just reliant upon the glue. And then we'll come back and we'll start doing some bits on here. Right, I'm back. Now I have to confess, this is many days ahead. We're not now on the same day or anything. But what I have done, so I need to tidy all of this up. I have literally just stitched this on the sewing machine, and you can probably see, I mean, made an absolutely appalling job of sewing it. So yeah, not my finest work. But I mean, this one, I've even stitched this piece all over here, but that's fine. I can just hopefully kind of somehow unhook that. Oh well, let's just go down there. Right. Yeah, let's just see if I can get that out somehow. Yeah, not made a good job. It was because it was very, very, very tricky to actually get to these bits, you know, on the sewing machine. So I'm no seamstress. I know I've said this lots of times before. So for me, this was pretty tricky, actually kind of managing to stitch around some of these bits anyway. Yeah, hence I've obviously made pretty poor job of sewing it. Now I can't remember. I think it was like this, wasn't it? So yeah, let me just quickly trim this one here. As you can see, this one, I mean, I even went off and stitched all over here by, not by accident, but you know when it kind of runs away. Well, it was by accident, obviously, but yeah, when the sewing machine starts running away with itself, and I couldn't then kind of get because I don't use the foot pedal, I use the button. I was busy holding the piece. I couldn't then kind of let go of the piece to actually be able to, you know, remove or stop the stitching in time. So yeah, I mean, I've even now got this like weird stitch bit going across the page, but it's fine. It's all fine. So again, just going to, yeah, take that out there. I mean, it won't really matter by the time this is all put together and assembled. Hopefully it won't really even be noticeable. So yeah, let's just tidy that up like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Right. Okay, right. So I do have a little bit here, which is kind of like a bit of a defect, but I mean, I could probably just even glue this down, this one here. So I'm just going to get my Fabri-Tac and just glue that. Okay, like that. Right, so all we were doing was basically stitching those hinged pieces down, just so that, you know, they're reinforced then with the stitching. So yeah, this is, if I open it back out this way, I don't know why, but for me this just feels like this is the, yeah, the kind of front part. So this is going to be like the front cover, I think. So yeah, now obviously we are doing a use what we have on the desk. So I have got stuff everywhere on this desk, absolutely everywhere. Now I have to say, when I kind of like look through, I've even got some bits which are, you know, actually put together pieces. You know, so we might even be able to use some bits which I've actually made. I mean, obviously my desk's such a mess, I can't actually see most of what's on here. It's all just buried. And obviously as I touch everything, it's all going to drop down. So probably best to just avoid touching things too much, because otherwise I'm just going to have a disaster on my hands. But yeah, we're just going to kind of like get on, I think, as best we can. Now I'm just having a look. I can't even remember what this was, but I think this was a mass made type piece. So yeah, I mean, that's quite nice, isn't it? So I'm just going to kind of pull out a few things that I've got buried and just see if we can kind of like lay stuff out roughly. I mean, like I say, the only unfortunate thing is, because obviously it's such a mishmash of stuff, I'm a bit matchy and feel like, oh, I could end up with this not really kind of going at all. But I'm hoping that we're going to, you know, manage to put enough things in where, you know, hopefully we'll get some sort of semblance of it does kind of match. So yeah, like that. I mean, obviously that's, you know, that's not perfect, but that's just a kind of initial stab. I don't mind it too much. Let me just have a bit more of a rummage and see what else I've got laying around, because I might have better, you know, I might have better bits that would go better. So let's just see. Oh, I have got some more of my Victorian frames. What else have I got here? Honestly, I mean, it's just like a disaster waiting to happen, really, the whole desk. So, well, I feel like it's a disaster has happened, if I'm honest. And as I'm touching things, things are dropping off over the other side. I mean, I'm sure that there are more things here, but, you know, more ready-made ephemera, because I've even got some things buried where I'd pulled them in for a, you know, let's decorate up some ready-made ephemera pieces. And then, of course, what's happened is I've decorated one or two, not decorated the rest. And so now I'm left with, like, remnants. Not remnants, but, you know, pieces that I've not then got round to decorating. And they're now all over the desk. So, I mean, it's proper messy. Right. Okay, I've got some other bits here. Oh, right, okay. I mean, you can probably tell it's looking a little bit chaotic here, but, well, let's just see what we can pull together from all of these bits. So, yeah, okay, I've got an envelope. I've got a little flippy. So, yeah, that's those. What's this? Okay. Oh, these are some of my ephemera pieces from the Build Your Own Folio kit. This is the fabric from that as well. That's the thing from that. And this is some Taperology bits. Okay, we've got some sari silk, so yep, we might like that. Got a bow. Oh, got that. Just throw that away. Actually, be rigid and throw something away for once. Okay, right, we've got some pretty cards. Got some paper. I'm going to just chuck that into my collage paper box. We've got this beautiful, you know, what would be a kind of journal card. We've got some snippet roll. Absolutely loving that. We've got some pieces that can be cut down here. Another piece of cluster. Okay. Some fussy cut pieces. And then we've got some more bits and pieces. So this one actually obviously is already made and decorated. This one here. This one here. So let's just see if we've got anything that kind of like colour-wise we can just kind of put together so that we have some sort of, you know, some sort of healthy balance with our coloured pieces. So, yeah, I mean, I really like this. I mean, it's got to be said, it obviously doesn't really particularly go with this. So I'm going to put this in my little tray beside my desk. So that's off the desk now, so that's all good. So, I mean, that's not too bad, is it? And then we've got these little ready-made pockets. Okay, that one. I mean, they're not really going, are they? You know, with the other bits. We have got this. Okay, let's just see what else. We've got this envelope. I mean, that's very pretty and would kind of go, wouldn't it? So we're beginning to get a bit of a sort of theme here of like purples and browns, I think. I've got this. Okay, and yeah, I mean, that's got no place here. So I'm going to put that in my ready-made ephemera that's, you know, completed. So that's off the desk now. Right, that's not really going either. So let's put these, I'm going to put all of these to the side in my, you know, things for decorating pile. So we can keep those for another time. So again, that's kind of got them off of the desk. So I mean, already that's kind of tidied a few things up. So let's have a look. Now again, this snippet roll, depending on how we go, will depend whether or not I would use that snippet roll. I don't know, to be honest, whether I'm likely to use that or not. But, you know, we just kind of put it to one side and then we can decide in you know, further in. Right, just having a look to see if I've got anything else here that's kind of ready-made that I could just put in. I have got this. Oh, honestly, I mean, who else's desk looks like this? Let me know if I'm not alone and if your desk resembles my desk, where you could literally flick through and, you know, you can find ready-made ephemera, all sorts of things. I mean, it's just like a nightmare waiting to happen, or maybe it's already happened. Got another one of these. So, yep, again, they were there, obviously, waiting to be decorated. I've got a lot of pieces ready to be fussy cut, so that's really good. And then I've got some other ready-made bits. So, again, this is not looking like it's going to go anywhere, so let me put that off the desk, okay? Right, okay. So we've got some purple bits here, so we could take on a bit of a, you know, purple theme. I've got some purple lace and things there as well. So we could do kind of purples and browns. You know, that would maybe work. Yeah, we could do purples and browns. Just having a look here. If we were to do something like that, maybe have that there. I mean, that's not too bad. Oh, I had that brown one there, actually. So maybe, well, maybe what we could do is have kind of these pinky colours on this side. And then maybe on the back we could have purples. Should we do that? So this would be the cover. So I'm thinking this brown piece maybe on the cover. Oh, and we have got another piece which I'd forgotten. So that was kind of like, yeah, tucked away. So I must not forget that. Oh, that does not look great on there, does it? So let's just try that there. Okay. Maybe something sort of like this. I mean, at the moment, this is not looking great. In case you hadn't noticed, it's not really looking like anything. But I mean, I'm hoping that it will by the end. So let me just move my teacup because that was obviously taking up, you know, a lot of space that, yeah, it needn't be. Right, I'm just going to have a final rummage and just see whether I've got any other bits of, you know, ready-made things that I could just put in, because I might just have some other bits that are, you know, going to tie this in colour-wise. I've got some more snippet roll. So that's going to definitely be, you know, be good and usable. I've got this. What else have I got? Okay, I've got quite a lot of papers from my flying tapestry. Got lots of papers from the country cottages. I mean, obviously, you know, mainly I've got things that obviously I have been using, you know, in other projects recently. So that's, you know, that's how come I've got some of certain things and some of, you know, other things, is because obviously they're leftovers from other things I have worked on. So, right, let's just have a quick flick through. And then I said I had those, which we kind of discarded those, didn't we? I think we said no to those. Did we say no to those? I don't know. Right. Oh my goodness, this is a nightmare, isn't it? Right, it's not coming together so far. Right, let's have a look. I mean, I quite like the black, actually. So I'm thinking move the purple. Not maybe have the purple. Have got this, which that's not bad colour-wise. snippet roll, that's, you know, that may come in handy. And this I'm not thinking is great colour-wise. So I'm going to actually put these up with my ready-made ephemera. So I mean, again, you know, I'm not using them, but getting them off of the desk, which is all progress, isn't it, in my book? Right, so on this side, I'm thinking we could probably have maybe this pocket and maybe, you know, maybe some of this or something. Yeah. And then maybe intersperse it with these black, you know, and black and brown. So, yeah, quite liking how that looks so far. Now, I do actually really like that there as well. Right. Okay. Right. So probably need to do this one sort of bit at a time, don't we? So do we want to do like the cover or maybe come to the cover afterwards? Right, I'm thinking this needs bringing down because it's quite tall. It's obviously too tall, you know, too tall for the piece at the moment. So, yeah, let's take this down. Oh, where have my scissors gone now? I've now lost them in amongst the chaos here. Oh, here we go. Honestly, it's just like a, yeah, disaster zone. Right, let's take that down. So it needed to come down quite a bit, obviously, because, you know, these book pages aren't that tall. So, yeah, that now fits. And obviously, at the moment, my flap is now taller. So I need to get that smaller. That's just weird, otherwise, to have a taller flap than the actual pocket itself. Okay, so that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, loving that. So then, let's see. I'm going to put that in my scraps bin for sort of collage pieces. Right, we then have got a few sort of ephemera type pieces. So let's see whether we want to have any of these either in the background as pockets or, you know, I don't know, decorative bits or anything else. And these are from, I think these are from my ephemera set 4, I think. But yeah, they're quite nice, aren't they? And this is my Victorian Beauties paper, but again, it's really nice, isn't it? So I'm going to cut this in half, a bit like I like doing with the labels. And then this can then glue onto here. So, oh, I love how that looks. That's really pretty. And it's again, it's bringing in the browns. It's bringing in the colours that we've got on other pages. So what we want to do is obviously on this page where it is quite brown, we want to bring in some pink, obviously, you know, so it's mixing in with the pinks. On this page, it's got quite a bit of pink. We need to bring some brown in. So, you know, hopefully that's kind of, yeah, that's the plan. So let's just have a look. Right, okay. So, yeah, let's put this down. So just glue this on with a bit of wet glue. Don't know what I'm going to actually put on with this, whether I would just leave it, I'm not sure. But yeah, let's just put that down. Okay. Just check. Yeah, that looks pretty, doesn't it? And then again, just going with the kind of whole working with what's on the desk. So I've got some purple lace here, which although we haven't really got any purple going on anywhere, you know, we could maybe kind of incorporate some. Oh, I've also got a little scrap of purple paper. This is from the Halloween kit, but I'm just wondering. Let's just have a quick look. So I'm just going to move this off there for a minute. So again, this page will need a little bit of sort of colour bringing in, you know, to tie it in with some of the other things that we incorporate. So for instance, if we do have purple on here, I feel like we then need to put some purple on here, if that makes sense. So yeah, I quite like that. What do we think? Yeah, quite like that. Let's just see what else I've got. Oh, I've got some purple ribbon. That's quite nice, isn't it? Pink flower. Let's just see. maybe have like something pink here. Yeah, I mean, straight away that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So I'm just going to glue this down. So I'm going to just glue it down on 3 sides. Oops. Okay, right, glue it down on 3 sides. Oh dear. Okie dokie. Right, let's just spread that glue a little bit. Okay. So that also, that's covering up, you know, where I had that crazy stitching that went all off of that hinged part. It's just covering that up, so that's all good. That's, you know, that's a good thing covered there. Okay, so like that. Right, let's get rid of a couple of these threads like that. Okay. Right, then we've got the purple lace. So, I mean, I really am mixing stuff up here. I would never in a million years put all of these different weird and wonderful colours together ordinarily. But, you know, I'm hoping that this is going to just turn out really like a lovely, like a lovely work of art. Yeah, I mean, let's just really hope so. But, yeah, I mean, just because we don't normally do things doesn't mean that, you know, we shouldn't or we can't. Let's just snip that down there. Okay, I mean, that looks pretty, doesn't it? So, right, let's take that out. Okay. Now, the other thing that I do have is I've got some of my pages from the Mauve kit. And these actually weren't on the desk, but they are now on the desk because of, I used them recently in a mass making. So, you know, some of these bits, they're actually accumulating even as I'm filming. As I'm filming this, I'm accumulating more stuff. So, you know, hopefully that's going to just work in our advantage because we're going to gain more things that we can use. Hopefully it's not going to be a, you know, a disadvantage. But yeah, so I've got this. So we could definitely then, like here, we've got a belly band here. And we've got a pocket now here. So we could make a couple of things from this that we could then tuck into there. So we'll come to that in a minute. The next thing, I've just got some of these Parisian cards, again, that were just loitering around on the desk. So let's just take a couple of these. Okay. Like that. Okie dokie. Oh, they're a little bit big, but I mean, we could have it something like that, or just take the next one down. Okey-doke. I actually can't wait to, you know, make a bit of progress with this desk because, yeah, it's become literally just stuff is dropping all over. So I actually can't wait to, you know, to make a bit of progress. So hopefully, you know, hopefully we are going to make some. Right. So that's quite nice, isn't it? I'm quite liking how that's looking. Now I've also got this purple bow that just happened to be floating around here. So we could incorporate that somewhere, although I'm thinking probably on the cover, maybe have that on the cover. So yeah, let's put this here. Now I've got this purple ribbon, which I'm thinking, shall we do like a wax seal with the purple ribbon? So, you know, like where we do those little curly banner things. I'm not sure what you really call them, but yeah, I think probably you know the things that I mean. So if we just take this round, oops, like that. I'm just going to glue this together. I'm just going to use the Fabri-Tac because my hot glue gun's now buried on the desk. So buried under things I can't actually now get to it. Looking forward to the day when it's not going to be that kind of situation with the desk. Right, get rid of that. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, maybe we could have like a wax seal or something on there. And I do have some wax seals ready done. Now I'm just going to put that purple ribbon hung up behind my desk now, just so it's off the desk. But, you know, of course, because it was on the desk, we can pull it back in. I won't feel like that's cheating to, you know, should we want to pull that in, we can. Because although I am trying to stick with just using things on the desk, you know, sometimes you might have to pull in some extra bits, mightn't you, to get the look that you're after. Oh, how pretty does that look? Yep, I'm loving how that one looks. So let's just pop that away. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So yeah, let's just put this down. Okie dokie. Well, just looking, my desk looks no different so far, you know, even though we've obviously used a few things. I've filmed some other videos since obviously, you know, starting making this, and so it's actually got worse. Yeah, so I can't claim to have made any progress whatsoever so far, but I mean, hopefully we are going to over the course of the X-Pile series. And like I say, I mean, I'm not even too sure whether we're going to be doing this as you know, a seven episodes, or who knows, it might have to stretch to, I don't know, maybe 10 even. We shall see. We'll see how much progress we can make and how quickly we can make it, really, and then we'll have to just review. But I mean, how pretty does that look? It just is gorgeous, isn't it? So yeah, really, really loving that. Right, let's move on to this page, because I love how this page is looking so far. So let's just glue this down. You know, like I say, it's just a scrap, you know, that's just been laying about, but might as well incorporate it. And to be honest, you know, it felt like it did need a little bit of purple to bring that purple in anyway. So that can go there. This we can put, oops, it's got glue dabbed on that now. So let me just wipe that glue off. Okay. We can put this on as a little pocket at the top. Okay, like that. So yeah, loving how that looks. I mean, aren't these colours just scrumptious? Absolutely scrumptious, aren't they? And then yeah, we'll have this black pocket, which, you know, I would never normally put this on this page, because of course, you know, it's not really got anything kind of looking like it would suggest to put it there. But it does look really good, doesn't it? I mean, I don't think it's just me. I think that does look really good. So yeah, let me know below, what do you think? Is that my imagination, or does it actually look good? Or are you thinking, what's she talking about? That does not look good at all. And that's fine. If that's what you're thinking, that is absolutely fine, because we've all got our own take on things, haven't we? I'm going to put that up there actually. So I'm just going to be lazy and hot glue this down. Oops, now I've dropped my hot glue gun. Yeah, it's just slid off the table, but actually, yeah, it's just hanging in midair now. Right, okay. Yeah, love how that looks. Right, and then this, do we want this glued down on two sides so it's a side loading pocket, or do we want it as a top loading pocket? I think probably on the two sides. So yeah, let's just put some glue here like that. Okie dokie, like that. Okay. Oh, do you know, I'd meant to put some lace hanging out of the bottom of that page, and I just totally forgot. So that's a bit of a shame, but never mind. I mean, we can always have lace, you know, lots of lace on the other side maybe to kind of make up for that. So yeah, it's all fine. Right, just hold that down for a couple of seconds. Make sure it's glued down well. Okay. Right, so now what I'm thinking is, if I just move this along, so I mean, obviously, yeah, we'll just kind of won't decorate the other pages today, but I'm thinking maybe this could make just like a little booklet out of this. that will go into that pocket there. So I will coffee dye this on the inside, just so it's, you know, it's not white. But that I'm thinking we could just have in there, to be honest. Yeah. And then with the mauve page, what do we want to do with this? So we've obviously got this drops down. We've got a belly band, so we could have... do we want to have like a tall, skinny kind of opening, or do we want something that opens like that? Or shall we just have like a flippy pad in there? Perhaps we should just have like a flippy pad. Oh, look. I love this picture. So I might back this onto something and have this tucked in somewhere, although it might be a bit big for this. Just again, because, you know, it's on the desk, I need to kind of just clear the desk. So, you know, anything and everything is just going to be chucked in here. I mean, who knows? We'll see how we, you know, how we get on and how the week goes. But, you know, we might make more than one project. We might not necessarily just stay with this particular thing. We might do multiple projects. We'll just have to see how we get on time-wise. But, you know, I'm just going to try and use as much stuff as I possibly can, really. You know, with regards to, yeah, getting as much stuff as I can off of the desk. So does that go in there? No, it won't fit. But it will fit in there. So perhaps we'll have that and that little booklet then. And like I say, I will put something on there. Let's just see what else I've got here. Right, okay. Now I did have an Eiffel Tower pink one. I did just see that not so long ago. Now, of course, I can't see it, but just going to take one of these labels. I just wonder whether we might want one of these somewhere. So these are from the Country Cottages kit. And obviously that was from the Victorian album. So I'm just really trying to let you know what papers that I'm using, because I know that lots of people... oh, excuse me. Lots of people do message me, you know, after videos saying, oh, you know, which papers are you using? You know, can you tell us as you go? So, yeah, I'm just trying to kind of really let you know, so that you're not kind of sat wondering what's she using now. Hopefully you will know most of the papers that I've used. So, right, take this one. I was going to put this in that belly band, but to be honest, I'm going to put this over here in this purple pocket, because that just needs something small. So yeah, I think this is probably ideal for that. Okie dokie. Right. So yeah, we can put that in there. Oops. Oh, because it had that blob of glue, it's kind of getting stuck. Oh, I'm still going to have to even fold that in half, would you believe? I mean, we could just have it in there, to be honest. So yeah, perhaps we'll just do that. And then, do we want this label somewhere? Just check whether, maybe there. Let's just ink that up a bit. Do we like it down there, or do we like it up here? I think down there. So yeah, let's just pop that down. Okay, like that. Okay, that looks cute, doesn't it? Yeah, love that. Right, so we're going to have that in there, and then I've just got another kind of postcardy bit. So lots and lots of kind of journal cards and things like that going into the pockets. And, you know, as it goes on, I mean, obviously at the moment I can't really find anything on the desk, and I don't dare kind of rummage too much because things are dropping off. But as the you know, the videos go on and hopefully I'm clearing more and more space, we will maybe get more adventurous and find more things to put into the pockets. But at the moment it's kind of like, well, let's just kind of use things as we come across them. So yeah, we'll just kind of start like that, I think. So that one into there. Okay, and then we still need to put something in there. So I did say I've got those Taperology bits, so let's just pull those in. Okay. Could have, oh look, right, we could have a bunch of these just kind of like maybe stapled together or folded in maybe. Okay, so these are lovely, and if you wanted to see any of my Taperology things that I got, you know, when I was sent my lovely bunch of goodies, it hopefully is listed in the video description below. So I am trying to ensure that that is in the video description every time, but just every now and then what happens is you kind of end up copying what's on the video from an old video, so then, you know, you don't end up having everything on there. So I'm just going to take that one. Okay, and I'm just thinking staple that. Now I've also got some stamped bits on here which I saw just yesterday. Now will I be able to see them again? Will I find them? Will I ever? No, of course now I can't see them. Every time I'm moving anything, it's just literally sliding off onto the floor. So sorry. Okay, here they are. I knew they were here somewhere. It was just a case of where. There are some purple bits in amongst these. So I can't really tell whether this is purple, if I'm truthful, or if it's blue. But anyway, it will do. And then also got this bird and a ticket, so I might just cut out the ticket. Okay. Okie dokie. Like that. Right, let's just do that and just tear that down at the end. I might have to just neaten it up on the sides a little bit. Okay. Right, let's staple this like that. And can we have this on there? Maybe there, like that. Kind of just like a little clustery type bit that hopefully we can just staple on to here. So yeah, let's just staple that on. So we're just making a very teeny little booklet. I mean, honestly, as if this is a victory, I'm like, oh, all these pieces I've got off the desk here. I mean, can I see the size of them? Am I aware of just how little room they were actually taking up? I mean, it's not like I've really made a big dent, is it, really, in anything? But, you know, I'm feeling like, oh, check me out. I have used all these little bits now. I mean, hello. It's really not made any difference whatsoever to what's on my desk, has it? But anyway. So, yeah, just inking some of these bits. Okie dokie, open that one out. Okay, right. Okay, right, there we go. And like that. And then I just staple this together like a little booklet. One, two. Okay. And hopefully that can just then slot in. Is that still too tall? Do you know, that just literally fits in there, just literally perfectly. So yeah, that was good, wasn't it? I was just wondering whether we might want to, I mean, we could even just like brad those together. Brad those. I mean, I'm not sure that's really a thing, but yeah, let's brad those together. Okay. Oh, these are those brads that I bought from Amazon that I thought were going to be the same as the ones from the range that I absolutely loved. And yeah, can you see the size of them? They're absolutely minuscule. So of course I'm struggling to use them. This, in fact, this is the first one I've used, I think. So yeah, it's tiny, really tiny. Right, I've got rid of those stamped pieces and just put them behind my desk for the minute. Just going to take this bird, just see if we can just brad this in with the other stuff. So let's just ink around here. Just so as we've got like a little bunch of things kind of, you know, clustered together. So yeah, like that. And like that. Okay, I've got my pokey tool. So just then poke that through. So yeah, these are the brads that I loved from the range. Look at the size of that one. Like quarter of the size. So of course, very tiny. Very tiny to handle. Well, in fairness, I did manage to use it. I thought it was going to be so tiny I wouldn't even manage to be able to use it at all. But yeah, I have managed to use it. So maybe I'll get on okay with them after all. Okay, and that's just going to go into that side bit. So I think quite good progress. I'm loving how it's looking so far. You know, it's looking pretty, isn't it? So obviously we've got this side to do and the cover, and then obviously we need to turn it over and kind of like do the, you know, the facing side or the other side. So yeah, I will come back and we'll do kind of some of those bits, and then we'll kind of see how we're getting on really with regards to, you know, the state of the desk. So yeah, I hope that you like the video. I hope that you feel inspired to maybe clear up some of your mess if your desk resembles mine at all. I'm not in any way suggesting that it does. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.